Hello all, my name is Hitesh Tamani and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today I'm back with another interesting and logical data science problem. In this problem, we have to calculate minimum number of platforms required to accommodate the entire train traffic. I have provided the data set used in this problem in the description below so that you guys can practice it by your own. Please make sure you watch the video till end to learn something new. And please subscribe to my channel if not already done yet, as I will be coming up with a lot more useful content. One more thing, basically, I have provided the SQL solution of the same problem in my SQL playlist. So if you guys had already watched that particular video, I would recommend you can basically jump directly to the solution part of this, as I will be basically solving the same problem using Python, right? So yeah, without wasting any time, let's get started. So over here, let me just quickly show you the data frame which we have available with us. So we are having two data sets available as part of this problem. One is arrivals, train arrivals data set, and second one is like trains departures data set, right? So let me just show you what all these two data sets contain. So as we can see in train arrival, we are having basically train ID and the arrival time, right? Similarly, in train departures, so in train departures also we are having departure, so train ID and the departure time, right? So basically, both of these tables contain arrival time and departure time of a particular train, right? Now, in the problem statement, we had been asked to find the minimum number of platforms which are required to accommodate the entire scheduled traffic, right? So basically, in this table, it the entire day's traffic is provided to us. Similarly, in the departure table, entire day's traffic is provided to us, right? And in the problem statement, we have basically provide the minimum number of platforms which are required to accommodate arrival and departure traffic, right? So can I say this thing, basically both of these tables are the event tables, right? So basically arrival is an event. Similarly, departure is also an event, right? And both of these events are interrelated to each other, right? So for that, can I say this thing, basically, we can interconnect these two tables in order to use both of the events together, right? Because over here, let's say if a particular train is arriving and second train is departing the platform, we will be able to basically get the minimum number of platforms accordingly, right? So for that, can I say this thing? First of all, let me just quickly check what is the data type of this column, right? Because since this is a or date time format, so basically we have to check whether we have date time format of this particular data set or not, right? So let me just take df underscore arrivals, right, dot d types. Yeah, so as we can see, this is in an object data type, right? So I mean, we have to basically convert this to date time first, right, before doing anything on this, right? So for that, I will use pd dot to underscore date time, right? And I will use this column over here, right? Similarly, we have to basically use do the same thing for departure as well. So for that, I will use same data frame over here, right? So df arrivals arrival time, over here it should be departure time, right? And yeah, so basically over here it could be, over here it's departures, arrival time, pd, oh my bad, over here it should be pd dot to underscore date time. Okay. So now, both of these columns, let me just check once again, what is the data type of this, whether it got converted or not. So the types, yeah. So as we can see, we are having this particular column is in date time now, right? Now, as I've mentioned, basically both of these tables are interrelated. So we have to basically like join these two tables or like concat these two tables, right? So for that, what I'm doing over here is I have to concat these two tables, right? But as we can as we know, like in order to concat two tables, we have to basically make sure the column name of both the tables are same, right? So before that, what we have to do, we have to basically make the column names as same, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is I will take df arrivals data frame, right? And basically I will rename the data column name over here, right? So basically df arrivals dot rename, right? I will use columns attribute, right? Columns what? Arrival time. So arrival time, I will basically give this as event time, something like generic we can give over here, right? And since we have to make that change in the original data set itself, so I will use in place is equal to true, right? What in place is equal to true does is it will basically make that change in the original data set itself, right? Similarly, we have to do the same thing for departure as well. So for df departures, I'm using same event time over here, and we have to convert departure time, right? Let me run this. And now if we can see, we are having this particular data set got event time over here. Okay. So now we will be able to like concat these two data sets over here. So I will say this as df events, right? I will use pd dot concat, right? And for that, I will basically take df arrivals and df departures. Okay. So in df events table, now we are having events like df arrival and df departures data set, right? But before that, can I say this thing? Both of these arrivals and departures are events, right? So, like, can I say this thing? In order to denote these two events separately, can we create a flag which will basically denote these two events separately, right? So before that, let me just create a flag over here, which will be an event type, right? And that particular flag will be, so since a train is arriving on a platform, right? So we are giving a positive one over here. Similarly, for departures, for departure, since train is going away from the platform, right? So for that, I'm giving -1 over here, right? So basically, something which is lesser than this, we have to give that particular value, right? So we can take over here, you can take 1 and 0 as well. I'm taking 1 and -1 as well. You can take anything by your own, right? So let me run this and we'll show you what our output will be. So as we can see, basically we are having train ID, we are having event time, we are having event type as well, right? Now, since we have to basically calculate like minimum number of platforms required, right? So for that, can I say this thing like we need event time and event type, right? Train ID is irrespective of train ID, we need like event time and event type, right? So in event like df events table, I will just select these two columns, right? So I will take event time over here. Similarly, I will take event type over here, right? Now, can I say this thing? If we have to basically calculate minimum number of platforms required, right? So for that, basically we have to check particular trains arrival time and second trains departure time, right? Let me just quickly explain you like what could be the possible solution for that with an example. So over here, I have taken like three different trains, right? Along with their arrival and departure time, right? So train one, since we can see it's arriving at 8 p.m. and it's getting departed at 8:50, right? Similarly, train two is arriving at 8:05 and it's getting departed at 8:10, right? Similarly, train three is also arriving at 8:05 and it's getting departed at 8:20, right? So over here, like all of these trains arrival time are closer to each other, right? But departure time is different, right? which means we need three different platforms in order to accommodate this particular traffic, right? So for that, I have created like basically arrival flag and departure flag over here, as we have created in our code, right? And in order to basically like solve this particular problem, can I say this thing? If we will calculate a running total or a cumulative sum over here, I will be able to basically denote like what will be my overall traffic and how much like how many number of platforms are required in order to accommodate that particular traffic, right? So for that, what I'm doing over here is I am basically like calculating running total over here. So for all the positive events, it will basically like give 1, 2, and 3 since this is a running total, right? For all the negative events, it will basically reduce the number from this particular event, right? So over here, can we say this thing? The maximum number of platforms, right, which are required are three, because at a time for a particular like train to for a particular station to accommodate that particular traffic, we need minimum three platforms, right? Because there is a clash between the departure time of these three trains, right? So over here, we have to do the same thing basically, right? So what we have to do, we have to basically calculate the cumulative sum of event type over here, right? So what we are doing over here is we will basically calculate cumulative sum, but before that we have to sort this out, right? Because we have to basically in order to basically accommodate the train traffic, we have to check like which train is coming first, which train is coming first, and which train is departing first, right? So for that, what we are doing over here is we will basically sort this with respect to train time and train type, right? So for that, I will use df events dot sort underscore values, right? And I will basically give by. So by is a like parameter over here. We have to sort these values by event time, right? So both these like event time and event type. So over here we will use event time and event type, right? And we need in place as well. So basically we have to make that change in the df events table itself. Let me just check, like we have events attribute as well in this. So we can use like in place is equal to true, so that like the change can happen in the same base data set itself, right? Cool, this is a warning. We can ignore this. Okay. Now we have to basically calculate the cumulative sum or running total, right? So for that, we are having like come sum as a function available in Python, right? So for that, I will use df events, right? And I will create another column which is current trains, right? Right. And I will basically do from df events table at on event type column, I will create or I will calculate cumulative sum, right? Let me just run this. Okay. Now, can I say this thing? Let me just show you like the output of this. Yeah. So this is my cumulative sum of event time and event type, right? Now, can I say this thing from this particular data set? If I will basically calculate the maximum number of platforms or like maximum number of cumulative sum from this, I will be able to tell like these many number of platforms are required, right? So for that, I will basically get a new data frame. So max platforms needed, okay? And basically that will be nothing but df events, right? And from current trains, I will take max of that, right? Now let me just show you what will be the output of this. Yeah, so as we can see, like at a time, maximum 4 number of platforms are needed in order to accommodate the entire traffic, right? So yeah, that was the possible solution of this particular problem. Let me know in the comment section, like, is there any other possible solution from your side as well? So yeah, that's all from my side. I hope you got to learn some new tricks from the solution of this problem. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Thank you one and all. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.